everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Beach Court podcast. Everyone besides me is preparing to go to Las Vegas, but we'll be giving you all of our thoughts about Las Vegas and the regionals this weekend out on the West Coast. We'll start off with a hot or not segment where we're going to dive in Supreme Court style and debate all of the decks. There's 12 decks that we've chosen. We're going to debate those decks and tell you our opinion on if they're hot or not. Of course, we'll have our trivia segment where I'll try to stump the boys. I'm pretty excited for my question this week. And then we'll run through our predictions for the Las Vegas Regional Championships. My name's Eric Ridgway. We got Maddox and Parker here joining us. Max Corcoran and Parker Greenwald joining us. Gentlemen, how was your week? Let's award our locals crown. What's your locals week look like?
Well, Parker, you're the reigning locals crown champion. So how would you give us a little breakdown of how things went for you?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they have to do with me as well.
They do have to do with Maddox. Played in a challenge on Thursday. Reigning champion. Made it to basically essentially finals in our 6th round league challenge.
Dude, I was like, when I realized it was 6, man.
I played Maddox the last round, and I was like, you know what? Like, let's just draw. Like, I just want the prize.
I was 5-0
basically.
Yeah, I was 5-0 at the challenge, and it had one more round to play, and then Parker was 4-0-1. So it was still like a winner takes all game type of thing. But
yep.
Parker, to his credit, kind of gave me a shout out and said, well, hey, like, you helped me out with the gentlemen's, and I won last week. So he was kind of like, hey, so if we just tie, it locks, me in for the win, locked Parker in for second place. So,
all right.
Anyway, Parker's going to win a regional, so he doesn't need those extra 3 points anyways. So I think it's all for the best.
I didn't know you guys paired the last round because I left after round 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's funny, but we got paired round 1 the week before at a league challenge.
Yeah.
This league challenge, we finally hit like round 6.
Yeah.
And then, of course, for the cup, Parker and I hit round 1. But we'll talk about that in a second. Eric, we talked about you playing some spice to the challenge.
We talked about it.
How things go. How things go.
I had my deck prepared, my Surreal Edge deck. Again, no Carmine because it sucks. And I had it prepared and ready to play. And I'd ordered the Passimians because I wanted to play that deck that we showed off last week. The pseudo like Terra box with no owls type deck. Just E-switches. Turbo through the deck.
Ogre box toolbox.
Yeah, it's like an Ogre box toolbox, and it's got the Passimian in it. I'm always chasing the Twitter clout, right? The Twitter clout it's just fun, especially like at challenges and stuff. So I'm not going super serious for Worlds either, so I don't need to go take a challenge win from my guys. So I chose to play the fun deck. And it was my first time playing it. I played a couple games on live, but it was my first time playing it like over the table. Definitely like a little like clunky, obviously, right? There's no like onboard draw besides Teal Dance, and you just kind of hope to hit a supporter. But like for me, I started 2-0. Deck was working good. I hit Chris on Goldango. First prize check, Pikachu's prize. I'm like, great.
And no cornerstone in that deck.
Yeah, no cornerstones. The Pikachu's like your answer for Goldango. So I set up properly. All was good, and I needed to find a boss to like take 2 prizes with Wellspring early and hope to get the Pikachu. And I missed the boss, and so from there the game was just pretty much over. And then round 4, hit our other friend Richard playing Charizard. He's got like a great opening hand going second because like going first, like my board's pretty good. I got like 2 energy on Wellspring. I'm ready to go. He goes like Arvin for Poffin. He goes bench Charmander from hand, bench Shaman from hand, Poffin for Pidgey, Klefki, and then jets the Klefki into the active, and then uses Town Store to Evo. And so I'm like, bro, I don't have any basic abilities, and there's a Shaman on the bench. And so like, the whole time I'm like, upset. And then later on, after another turn passes by of me being stupid, I realize, Klefki just shuts off Shaman, and I could have killed like their only. So that was really dumb, but it's fine.
It happens.
You don't remember that from the good old days of bossing up the Gardevoir's Klefki and killing the 2 Curlias?
I think about the NAIC finals with Hedrick versus Savon Ivanov, where it's like, oh, he could win with like what prime catching up the clef key to shut off the
Right.
mana fee. Like you had a bunch of funky board states. But
Yeah, so I just completely forgot, and after that, my head was just out of it, and I got destroyed round 5. So 2 and 3 on the day, but again, once I was 2 and 2, I was like, all right, whatever. So,
but went for the
Fun
Twitter
deck.
clout, which
Yeah.
is always admirable.
yeah,
Again,
went
let
for
us
the
know
clout.
if you are trying any fun
And
decks, tulip challenges.
I did
at
judge
home.
the Wokey Pokey Cup this weekend, so that was a lot of fun. Seeing most of Jacksonville like pretty much succeed there too. I mean, you two were both in cut. Anthony made cut.
Chris McKinley.
So we had 5 players from Jacksonville, down to St. Augustine and show them up. So love to see. I love to see.
Is Chris repping St. Augustine or Jacksonville?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't really know.
Chris, if you're listening to the episode, let us know in the comments below.
So, of course, we go to the Cup, round 1, in classic fashion for the past couple weekends. Parker and I hit round 1. Still playing the same matchup. I'm playing Dragon Ball Dusknoir. He's playing Gardevoir. And it was kind of like a game 3 because like 2 weeks ago, he beat me round 1. And then the last one, we played it for fun game and I won, but he scooped that one to me. So it was kind of like, and then this was like, okay, here's like the game 3 that we get to play. And Parker proceeds to destroy me. I believe. I'm pretty sure. I know I didn't do much.
top deck
I didn't like. I did, yeah. Top deck secret box,
secret
which happened 3 times that day somehow.
Twice against me.
Yeah, twice against Maddox.
And top cut, you were just like, oh,
yeah. It was
Well, yeah, my hand was
spoilers.
Oh yeah.
So, so Parker beats me round 1, and it's like, at a cup. Again, I talk about cups and challenges. Like I mentioned it before at like cups, at least in person. But like the nice part about a cup is that you don't have to win every game, right? Like, against at a challenge, if you go to a 5-round challenge, you got to win like 4 out of your first 4 rounds, pretty much always.
Yeah.
At a cup, you just need to win like 3 out of your first 4. So like if you had a bad matchup, if you brick, then like it happens. Sometimes you just have to win like 3 of your first 5 games type thing. So you have a little bit of room. So I lose the first one. I hit into another Gardevoir immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's tricky. At least I got to go second. And I'm like, do my first deck search. And I'm like, oh, I prize double Badoo. So against the Gardevoir, I'm like, this can get pretty bad pretty quickly, especially that I've already lost the game. So I lose this one, I'm like most certainly out. But he prized both of his rare candies, so it kind of evened out. Yeah, so somehow won that game and then had to like claw my way back to 3-1 and was able to take the safe ID into cut. And Parker, I know you had a pretty similar path. Any highlights there? I think, did you hit McKinley right after me? And
I hit McKinley right after you. And I was like, oh boy. And he did not have a good opening hand. And I was like, okay, like nest ball for Ralts. I don't remember. Like Lily's.
You had a situation where like he just went Dreepy pass, even though he had Brox in hand. And if Parker lilied in the Candy Guardy, it was just over.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, he went Dreepy attached pass, and then I went, Lily's, like, I have a Ralts. I realized that I prized 2 other Ralts this game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, like, if I just hit Candy Guardy, like, it's game, basically. And then he goes, like, Brock for Duskull, and...
Oh, he brought for a Dracloak and then got a Poffin off Dracloak.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was something like that.
Because his hand was so dead, that's why he didn't play the Brock, because he was holding up for the Dracloak.
Yikes.
Well, he went first.
Yeah, I know, but he had a Brock in his hand going...
You can't
No, he went second.
First.
No, he went second. Because you were Lillian's for Candy Guardy. He went second.
Oh, true. Yeah. Well, we can...
Anyways.
I don't remember
I'm
exactly.
100% sure that's how it went.
Yeah. But either way it went, he got Rare Candy Dusknoir to kill the Ralts and then Badooed me. I was like, if I literally have 1 Ralts in my deck, like 1 more Ralts in my deck, like the game's just over here, basically. Yeah. But I just did it. And there's many turns of me not hitting energies to like just attack with Monkey Dory or anything, and like it just went to like
it was rough.
I finally took like a couple prizes, still no Ralts. He blew up a Dusk Clops like to put me at 2 prizes, and I finally got a Ralts, and like I put the Ralts down, and I don't remember, but like I was digging for Iono because I had like 2 in deck still, and he only had 3 cards in hand. So I pushed. I confused him, and he only had a Dreepy on the bench, and his cards in hand were Rare Candy,
Holt.
Nor,
Neo
uh,
upper.
and Neo Upper. So I'm like,
Three.
okay, man,
Nor,
sure,
yikes.
sure. And yeah, that was the game. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was like,
That's okay. You
Yeah.
lost one.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then you won the
Lost
rest.
one.
yeah, I won out. ID'd the last round. I actually got lucky against the Bolt player because, well, it was lucky and unlucky because like I opened like 5 Pokemon and nothing, and like just had to pass a couple turns, but like he missed a Prime Catcher. He went down to like 4 or 5 cards in deck, and like Prime Catcher is still there. It hits it, he wins. So I was like, oh, I got a little lucky there, but yeah.
We take this.
Then yeah.
So long story short, you both paired in top 8.
We both made cut, and we
Yeah.
both hit top 8, unfortunately. And honestly, like pretty wild set.
It was a really good set.
Yeah.
It was a good set. Game 1 was close. You Iona'd me, and I drew research, and that was like the nail in the coffin.
I owned
game
it too,
one.
and he's like, research or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
and I was like kind of excited to see where that game was gonna go, because like I was gonna have to confuse your only guy, and like this and that, but I was like, oh, research.
I probably just have to go for the flip there.
You probably do, yeah.
So game 2, game 2 I got ahead of somehow.
You had like a blow up turn with Dusknoir.
Yeah. And then game 3 was like the just Maddox insanely high roll turn. I had like turn 2 like Dusclops, Rare Candy Pult, Counter Catcher, KO, the only Curly with Jet Headbutt Iono to 5.
Oh, right, because you Dusclops, and then you were debating to not Counter Catcher.
Yeah.
No, I was debating.
No, he was debating
to the Mew to go for a 3 prize.
Because if he went 3 prize turn, but he's
like, I was like, do I get energy off of this? Because if I hit energy, then I can take.
But the Mew was in the active, so you were or something. Whatever was in the active.
Mew was in the bench. I put Screamtail in the active.
Yeah, Screamtail's in the active. Yeah, so
I was just like, I knew like you were debating on like, are you gonna get energy off this Iono to 6? And you're like,
Yeah, so I went for the safe route, which paid off because I not hit the energy, so I just got the Jet Headbutt knockout, and then I think from there I kind of just it continued to kind of draw pretty well to like keep chasing attackers and like limit the board, and I think you had a Ralt's Prize and some energy, and like you had a turn to get back into it, but you had to ultra like get rid of a candy first turn, like it was kind of I definitely kind of scammed a win there.
I had Ralt's, I have Ralt's and Artisan Prize, so I couldn't put the second one in play.
And I didn't know you were only playing one Artisan, because I think when you went like turn 1 box for Mystery Garden, I was like, oh,
back in the deck, yeah. I prized other Artisan, because if I go Nestball Artisan, I have 2 Ralts now. But...
Exactly, yeah. Then it's a little safer board. So
yeah.
So then, Maddox just takes it down, right, from there.
Yeah, pretty much. Shout out McKinley, because while I'm playing top 4, literally game 1 starts. And then McKinley just has to go bear, like McKinley going second just has Bear in the active, like literally just pass, like draw, pass going second. And then again, the guy playing Gardevoir literally goes turn 2, Rare Candy Guardy, 5 energy in the discard, Drifloon Charm, KO the only blood move. So I'm like, geez, bro. So.
Off of Lilies, he found Seeker Box, Vessel, Candy, Guardy, and Drifloon. Like that was 5 of his 8 cards, and he already had 2 energies in the discard pile. It was nasty.
So it was just like, dang, poor McKinley. So unfortunately beat Parker in top 8. And then beat the person top 4, and then in finals, the person I'm playing is not going for Worlds. He knows that I am, so he just kind of gives me the match there and then play for the prizing. So shout out to him for that. Cool opponent. I learned a lot. He actually just played a lot of Dragon Ball Dusknoir, so when we played some of the games for fun for the mat, was able to like talk through some of the lines and like learned a good bit there. And I think makes me feel a little more comfortable with the deck heading into Vegas. Nice to get another 50 points on the board. And good Saturday at Pokemon.
Well, congratulations, Maddox. You have the crown for this week with a cup win and a challenge win. The good news is next week, neither of you will be here, so I win by default.
You got to go to locals and you got to get at least a win.
I mean, I win by default.
At least a top. At least a top.
Yeah. Also, like if Parker wins Vegas, I might make an exception.
But I'm
Just
playing in
throwing
a
it out
cup
there.
on Sunday.
Oh, there you go. Go take
You
it
gotta
down.
top the cup. If you don't top
There
the
you go.
cup, there's no crown.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right.
Now go take it down. We believe in you, Eric. Thank you all. I will wear the crown with honor this week. But on the other side of the card, what have y'all been up to this weekend? What's a highlight you're celebrating from the weekend?
This weekend, I mean, I judged the cup yesterday. That was a lot of fun. And then today I watched the Jaguars blow a 19-point fourth quarter lead. So that was a low light. And we gave my son sweet potato puree today for the first time. He had a little bit of oatmeal last week, but this is the first time with like anything like flavor. And
Incredible.
He loved it. He was just covered in sweet potato puree. And I hated that because I don't know, I have like a weak stomach in a way that like I'll like throw up like I smell something bad or if I see something bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at him, I'm like, bro, like
have fun with fatherhood. Surely.
Thankfully I have an awesome wife who changes all the poopy diapers because like I'll do any diaper that's not poopy, but like a poopy diaper, man, I'm like it's only out of necessity.
Parker, what about you? Find anything fun after the cup or otherwise today?
Nothing today. I just worked, but I finally got to play another One Piece local on Friday.
Hey, there you go.
I won 2-3, but all 3 of my losses were to like top 5 players in the city, probably, and like they're all really close and like they're all really like fun, good games. So.
Did you see Rahul's tweet about One Piece?
I did not.
I did. He went to like the regional.
I'm gonna read it.
And then it's funny. He's at the bottom tables, and basically someone's like, "Oh yeah, I used to play Pokemon, but I switched from that because the game's too expensive and it's like too hard to make it to Worlds."
Yeah, it says like things heard at the bottom tables of a One Piece regional more than twice. I switched over from Pokemon because it got too expensive to play, and it's super unfair to get a World Championship invite.
Not quite, but he said the highlight for him was that no one knew who he was. So
hey,
kind of crazy.
Just being able to enjoy the tournament.
Someone's saying Pokemon's expensive.
I mean, traveling and stuff is expensive, but
yes, obviously.
Well, I mean, traveling for all tournaments is probably expensive.
I'm going to say this with as much love as possible, but if Parker can play the game, then anyone can play the game.
I find a way.
We get you there,
Parker. Shout out that you're hanging in there with some of the best.
Yeah, One Piece.
To be fair, probably your only losses this past weekend in Pokemon were also to like other top 5 players in the city. So like, you know, I think you're in fine shape.
I mean, it was my only losses with you, I guess. Well, and McKinley. Yeah.
So,
Max, what about you? Anything this weekend fun?
I mean, today I had a nice kind of like low key day. We're actually helping in the neighborhood building a community, like one of those like mini libraries. And not like a building, but like one of like the little like share libraries that like sits in someone's yard. So something that today was helping put up some like twinkle lights. They'd already done a lot of the work. It's like space themed, so painted black. Has these like and has these cool twinkly lights that we were running and fastening up there. So nice little setup, nice little chance to be outside and like doing something productive. Went out for a nice brunch, and of course most of Saturday was spent in St. Augustine for the cup and traveling for that. So yeah, nice chill weekend. Again, just enjoying some of the downtime before heading to Vegas and tackling the regional this weekend.
Yeah, well, let's jump right into some Vegas discussion. Again, this will be our Supreme Court of the Pokemon meta decks, where we're going to talk about 12 Las Vegas decks that are the most popular decks in the room, and we're going to give our opinion on if we think the deck is hot or if we think the deck is not hot, meaning it's not really a good play for the tournament. And then so someone's going to lead off and give us an answer and their kind of judgment, and then the rest of us will either concur with that opinion or dissent that opinion. So, Parker, you want to get us started with the most popular deck in the room?
Order in the courts. I am appointed to defend Ye Ol' Gardevoir. Very, very, very good deck in my opinion. The deck I will most likely be taking to the Las Vegas region. What does the jury have to say?
So you're saying the deck's hot?
I think the deck's hot.
What do you think? What do you think is good about it?
It's just insane, like mechanically, just a super insane deck.
But you don't have Curlies that have draw power.
That is true.
Can't
you
be
have
anymore.
We got Mufez.
Yeah, Mew
In other
EX
games, I saw
doesn't
you this
defeat-
weekend go Ultra Ball from you parade against us.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah.
I mean, it's
listen,
kind of funny
as
though, because that's like what the little like the Ogre box that I played. It's like the same thing. It's like
Like,
I'm
yeah,
I'm just trying to get the Mew
Right.
draw and like Teal Dance,
I'll
you
too
know.
with yeah.
as another point of justice here to discuss the meta decks, I do have to give a concurring opinion with Parker for Gardevoir. Again, listen, you have everything you need, and even though the deck has underperformed lately, I think any amount of disrespect that Gardevoir ever feels, people aren't playing their jamming towers, people aren't playing their tool scrappers, people feel any less reason to play a dark deck. And plus, going into a North American event where the strongest North American players we know will be playing Gardevoir, I think Gardevoir remains an extremely hot play despite its less success lately. And we'll concur with Judge Parker on this one.
Listen, as the appointed representative for all the rogue decks in the world and all the turbo decks in the world, I am going to dissent this opinion. And I think that while Gardevoir is inherently a good deck, again, the kind of point that I just made, no draw power on board really hurts Gardevoir a lot, in my opinion. There's a lot of dark decks out there that are coming up, like Zoroark's getting popular, Mega Absol, Charizard, Grimmsnarl, and even Goldengo's a bad matchup in theory for, Gardevoir. So those are a lot of bad matchups to have in the room. But yeah, you will just beat all those fringe, Slow Kings and, other decks that are trying to have fun out there. So, maybe it's good for a regional, but I'm going to dissent that opinion and say no more.
All right, majority opinion, Gardevoir is hot for Las Vegas. Jumping over to, of course, we're talking top decks, and we got to talk about Dragapult Dusknoir. Again, Dragapult Dusknoir for a while has been held down by the Gardevoirs, but lately has had pretty good runs. Again, we saw Dragapult mirror in the Lils finals. And again, continued strong performances in Gdansk and Brisbane. But as we head to North America, is Dragapult Dusknoir a hot play or is it not a hot play? And listen, I think Dragapult has had better success lately, but I still think the deck overall is disrespected. I think that a lot of decks are not ready for item lock. Badoo remains a strong play. Psyduck is not a card that lots of decks are opting for, and even the decks that do opt for it don't have a great way to always effectively keep its presence around. And really just the prize manipulation of Dusknoir and the built-in draw engine plus counter catcher plus spamming Ionos plus damage manipulation, right? I mean, there's everything you want in a deck with Dragapult. It remains an extremely unfair deck to play against, and which is why I think, despite maybe a hot take and a hot weekend from Gardevoir, that Dragapult remains a hot play for Las Vegas. Pass it over to my other justices for any thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot to add here. I just concur that it's, it is a hot play. And the major reason why is that Jacloak's a card. You got these Jacloaks on the board, and they see 2 cards each time, and you got 4 of them. You're seeing 8 cards a turn. You've got, limitless abilities in the world. And like you said, Badoo's very strong right now. So I concur.
I also concur. Just the best, one of the best attacks ever printed, probably, and broken abilities to go with it.
Yep.
All right, a solid majority opinion. Dragapult Dusknoir is a hot play for Las Vegas.
Dragapult Dusknoir is a hot play. Do you think there'll be any regular Dragapults kind of showing up, like no Dusknoirs, like just straight Pult variants?
I think ultimately the reason that Dragapult without Dusknoir has fallen off is because mainly Dragapult Dusknoir became a less popular play. So straight Dragapult had a great advantage into the mirror, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think now that things are so bad against some decks, like Gardevoir, Absol without the Dusknoir line. I mean, I think it's tricky to see. So I think you still need to be playing Dusknoir with Dragapult. Again, the ones without Dragapult, you're reliant on a lot of retreat lock right now. And I think that retreat lock is something that's very anticipated in the meta. So it's less strong, right? You're either playing just a Dragapult deck that can't do as much and is trying to win games by retreat lock cheesing, or cornerstone walling. And if you don't have, and a lot of decks are ready for that. So I think because of that, Dragapult is a little less well positioned.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next deck, which is EV Box, our Flareon EV Box. So I'll be representing all the Flareon believers out there. Specifically, I know Emma Hagen has had a really good run with Flareon lately. Did get destroyed this weekend by Henry Chow on the show match. And a quick swift 4-0 by Henry with Gardevoir over this Flareon box. So maybe some kind of like judgment goes into it based off of that result alone. But Emma has shown results, and I think a good pilot playing EV box with having a Leafeon option in the deck, having a Water Pawn option in the deck, and of course Flareon being really good in the Goldengo, which we'll get to in a little bit. But Goldengo is going to be one of the most popular decks in the room. So having a really good matchup against Goldengo and a lot of the other room, and maybe it's okay to be a little weaker against Gardevoir. So I am going to say that Flareon box, EV box is a hot play for Vegas. What do you guys say?
I concur. I think that it does have a lot of strong matchups. As they've kind of pointed out on Twitter, that if the players the better than you on Gardevoir, they're gonna win the match. But if you think you're a better player than the Gardevoir player, you have a really good chance Pidgeot can search every out that you'll need for their turns.
Yeah, the Pidgeot's good.
Pidgeot, good card. But I think it is a good play. Having an almost free Dango matchup is pretty nice.
I unfortunately have to drop a dissenting opinion here.
Whoa!
I think Flareon, unfortunately, again, you struggle into Gardevoir, you struggle into Item Lock, you struggle into a lot of these big decks. Dragapult Gardevoir, I think it's still a tricky time for you. You can get run off the board, anyone who's ready for these Noctowl decks. And also, right, even the Goldango matchup that is so fabled was something that Emma still lost to in the finals of the Gdansk Regional. So it is not an auto win by any means, especially with the new Lunatone Solrock package. So I think for just due to being weak to Item Lock and weak to Iono, I think is not a good situation to be in going into Vegas. So I have to dissent, and my thought is that Flareon is not a hot deck for the weekend, but majority opinion rules from the rest of the court, and Flareon is a hot pick for the weekend by majority opinion.
Well, on that note, for the next one, we got Joltik Box here, which is funny because it's always a good play, but it's always a bad play. It's a deck that, obviously you can beat everything, but are you going to be playing the best players or beating the best players in the best room? If they don't, brick, I think it's a deck that capitalizes off your opponent missing one turn of things, and if they're drawing well enough, are you beating the top players in the room with it? I don't think so, personally. So I will say that it is not a hot play.
Ooh, we got our first not.
I unfortunately have to concur that it is also not a hot play. Again, my concern with Joltik Box is that we haven't quite seen any innovations to the list that are really ready for the retreat lock that we see in the format. Again, I think that's one thing that's really holding it back. You play a lot of liabilities. If we see some lists that are maybe moving towards a higher switch count, including some Jet Energies, maybe playing a Petron to pivot your Fez or another dark Pokemon out of the way, then you have a few options. I think right now there's too many decks that can casually slow down Joltik Box with a retreat lock. While there are several decks that are susceptible to an early Iron Hands that Joltik's able to set up, you're really dependent on going second to have a much of a productive anything and put that pressure on. And again, as some of these, build-up decks get a little more powerful, Charizard is a mainstay in the meta now. These are some tricky matchups for Joltik Box in the recent builds. Now maybe you're playing Galvantula, maybe you're playing Leaves, maybe you're playing multiple switch. Maybe things get a little better, but I think if you put more into the text to beat these options, then you lose some of the deck's inherent power. So that's my concurring opinion of Joltik Box as a not hot play.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dissent that opinion. As the Turbo Deck believer of the podcast, I have to be on the Turbo Deck side here. I think the reason why Joltik Box is a hot play for Vegas is the majority of the meta isn't prepared to handle Pikachu. There's not many decks out there that are like, yeah, I have a Pikachu deck. I have a Slitherwing, right? Raging Bolt was inherently the worst matchup for Joltik Box for a long time. That deck has decreased in popularity and play. So that's one bad matchup kind of gone from the room. And even the Flareon box we talked about, there's no answer in that deck for for Pikachu. So there's so many things out there that don't have an answer for the Joltik boxes. Now, again, to your point, Maddox, I think if you want to play Joltik box to Vegas and do really well, you do have to kind of tech some things, whether it be the switch counts or whether it be what was I just thinking about, like the
Leaves,
Clefairy,
Galvantula,
like
Clefairy, yeah.
Clefairy, right? So like those types of things to just deal with, Dragapult Dusknoir being in format. So I think I have to dissent the opinion, but I understand the sentiment, and and I don't fully disagree with the majority opinion.
Yeah. By majority opinion, we have Joltik box by decision of 2-1, not a hot play for Vegas. Moving on to Goldengo, again, recently finally had its major breakthrough with winning the Gdansk Regional Championships with the new addition of the Solrock Lunatone package. And you see with Goldengo is a deck that is consistently able to get set up quickly, either by playing Precious Trolley, Secret Box, or even using Prime Catcher, a bunch of different ways to play it, using Lunar Cycle to see more cards than ever, and being able to quickly put on one prize pressure. I think, unfortunately, Dango is, now that it's had its best showing in Gdansk, it's maybe a deck that people are ready for. People are ready to play it to Vegas, and any time that you're playing a deck that people are ready for means it becomes a little bit of a worse play. Might see a little bit of an increase in some Jellicent Guardies kind of heading back to North America. Might see some Cornerstone counters reintroduced. There's some talks of Eerie. There's still item lock running around. And ultimately, I think by switching this Rocks package, you lose a little bit of advantage into those big stage 2 decks because you have less access to energy through Energy Search Pro. So the Charizards, the Dragapults, the Gardevoirs are a little bit harder to knock out than they have been in the past. So as much as I hate to say it, I think Goldengo is not a hot play for Las Vegas. If you've been spending your time on it, again, it's probably still best to do that, but just be careful that the room is probably going to be...
I am of... hard to say. I think I'm of the dissenting opinion, though.
Okay.
I think
All
that
right.
Goldengo's inherent strength, getting a turn 1 knockout on all the little guys, especially with a single prize board, really strong. And then once they get their big guy into play, you put your big guys into play, you can one shot. So like, it's still, I think it's still good. I think there'll be a lot of deep runs with it. But like, I think I have to slightly disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be our first time on the court where we've all disagreed with the the original presenter. I also have to dissent that opinion because Goldengo is just that deck, man. Like it won the regional for a reason. It got top 4 for a reason. Gardevoir, if it's in the format, it's gonna be popular. That's a good matchup for it. Dragapult, good matchup for it. There's a lot of good decks that are out there in this format that is really just a good matchup for Goldengo. So I have to dissent that opinion because I think that Goldengo is just too strong. I mean, Solrock, while Maddox believes, kind of brings it down a little bit, I think it brings it up and gives it a little bit more of a variety and, what you can do with the Premium Power Pro and the Vitality Band, hit that 110 number early on like a early, opposing Solrock or an opposing, Monkey Dory, things like that. So I think Parker and I are going to have to take over the majority opinion here and say that Goldengo is a hot play to Vegas.
All right.
So next up, we got, speaking of hot, we got everyone's favorite fire deck, Ceruledge. This this is a deck that, it hasn't got an ASM cut yet. It tried to get an ASM cut and unfortunately had a sleeve issue that, kept it out of ASM. But we did see this weekend on Friday, the Tournament of Doom, Azul take it all down with what I have been saying on this podcast for over 3 weeks. 0 Carmine in the list. Carmine is a bad card. If you want to play Ceruledge this weekend and you want it to be hot, you have to not play Carmine. Carmine is terrible. So under that assumption that people shift and play the right list, I think that Ceruledge is a hot play because, again, we talked earlier about Flareon. 4 research is crazy. I think that having a free matchup in the Goldengo, and that one does have a free matchup in the Goldengo, is really good to have. And you can hit big numbers on Dragapult and Gardevoir. You hit 330 pretty easily. So deck you're worried about is like Jolted Box. You don't have an answer to Pikachu. So I'm gonna say it's a hot play for Vegas. What do you guys say?
Well, I think you know my stance. I don't know if we want the deciding factor to go last or.
Well, my deciding factor is also Descent. So
Okay.
I mean, listen, I gotta drop a dissenting opinion here. Just because you play Fire Energies doesn't necessarily mean you're a hot deck. I think the issue still is, until we see the Ceruledge players adapt to build a stronger list, I think you're inherently limited by a discard draw 5 supporter. You're not seeing enough resources. Even though you have your Lunar Cycle, right, there's still some weaknesses there. I don't think you can get to high damage numbers that quickly. Again, dealing with the large the large stage 2 Pokemon you need to deal with, or even the large mega Pokemon you need to deal with. It's very hard to rush to that point while maintaining your resources, right? If you want to hit 330 to knock out a Dragapult or 320 to knock out a Dragapult, you got to get rid of a lot of cards for that. And now, do you have the bosses that you need to close out the game? Do you need the Briar that you need to close out the game, right? I mean, there's all these pieces, especially against the mega decks. Do you have the Jet energies you need to stop the retreat lock? I think there's a few too many issues I'm concerned about. Lack of having an engine is a concern. Now, I think that Ceruledge has some inherent power, but until we see a more optimized list that has some more like inherent control over what you're doing over than just Carmine and Prey, I think it's got to stay a little bit of a weaker play.
I will say, I didn't call this out. Azul played Drillbur, and I think Drillbur could be good.
Definitely. As he said before, if you could play Brilliant Blender and Legacy Energy, would you?
Yeah, that's a pretty when he said that, I was like, okay, yeah, like that sold me on it right there.
No.
So Parker, you're dissenting also?
I am.
Or are you back on the concurring side?
I am on the dissenting opinion.
Boo.
I think obviously the deck is good. I don't see it making an insanely deep run. I mean, day 2 is obviously, yeah, for sure. But
I cannot wait till Ceruledge wins Vegas. It's gonna be so much fun.
I would love to see it, honestly. And the problem, Eric, is if it wins, it's gonna have 4 Carmine in it, and you're never gonna get over that.
Nah. They're lucky I'm not going because I'd win it.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yo, anyone who's playing Ceruledge, look at Hearsay Pelipper. Trust me.
Stop.
I want to make that card work so bad.
True. And
but just play Azul's list, guys. He did say play third boss, cut a gong for third boss, and just play that list. It's really close to like my list. I mean, honestly, with the Drillbur and there's one other difference. He played 2 boss and no bundle.
Lilies, maybe.
Yeah, he played 1 less Lilies, so I don't know where the exact difference was, but the Drillbur's good. I think 3 boss is correct. Bundle has been good too, but like I think if you play Drillbur, you just don't have room for bundle. So I guess that makes sense.
All right. If you're playing a Carmine list, the opinion here is a very clear 1 to 2 in Descent.
Yeah. It's a 3-0 Descent. If you're playing Carmine, just like throw your deck out the window on the plane.
Maybe consider some of the new lists. Again, Azul, strong player for a reason. Choose second. Get some research, get some turn 1 attacking options, and stop playing Carmine.
Carmine's terrible. Anyways,
you know what is not terrible? Terra Box.
But it has Terra in the name. Are you sure it's not Terra? Anyways, you give your take.
My take, I think that it is a hot deck. I think it like always is, like never will until every deck in the format plays Shaman. I think that it's a hot play. Like Eric was saying earlier, Pikachu is a monster to deal with for many decks, and getting Water Pond the second turn while you're still setting up is also a pain, and then getting Blood Mooned is also a pain. Like I don't know. Like I think the deck's just good in the hands of a strong pilot. Like it's got the potential to make deep runs. We have seen like the Flareon inclusion in some, which one gives a really good attacker in a Dango, while like you already have Pikachu, you just Flareon onto your Pikachu, and that's basically game on board half of the time. So yeah, like I think it's hot.
I'm like struggling with how I feel about this deck. There's not a lot of like strong finishes to support it being a hot deck, but its overall like win rate in general is like pretty good. So like you want to say that it's a hot deck, And again, when you have the Jewel Seeker engine, in your matchups, it's really good. Like you said, Parker, like just getting 2 cards earlier, like I don't know. I think people are starting to put the Shamans in. They're starting to know how to play against this deck. Iona's a very good card. Itchy Pollen's a good card. I'm gonna say it's not. I'm gonna dissent that opinion and say it's not hot for Vegas. I don't know. It just something about the deck just doesn't vibe.
That is fair.
Yeah, I mean, again, Terror Box has a lot of similarities to Flareon Box we talked about, which I already said was not a hot play in my dissenting opinion. Something about Terror Box feels a little different. It feels like maybe you have a little bit higher explosive start potential and maybe a little better idea to close things out. I don't know. It's a little bit of a tricky spot. Again, my concern ultimately, while people are still not playing Shaman, I'm still just too concerned about the Gardevoir and like Dragapult matchups, like into Item Lock and Iono for this weekend. So just in that regard, right, there are going to be strong pilots playing it. I do think you're playing Terror Box. Really consider that Flareon, Leafeon package. I think that gives it so much dimension and gives you lots of, cool combo potential. But I think for now, right, like any deck that is just going to fall over to Item Lock and Iono early or Iono late, like I think is just a tricky spot for me personally. So I have to dissent here. And also for our 3rd in a row disagreement with our head judge, the dissenting opinion here, Terror Box, not
Jeez, not hot.
But we do have to talk about what was previously the hottest deck of the Milwaukee Championships, Milwaukee Regional Championships, is Mega Absol Box. So again, Mega Absol EX really sprung onto the scene. This rogue, deck, an idea created by Tord, piloted by so many top players, saw so much success, heading all the way to a top 4 finish. This deck finally got its first win over in Brisbane when we saw plenty of top pilots, and none other than Ryuki Okada went all the way from Japan, punches ticket to the World Championships by winning the Brisbane Regional Championships with Mega Absol, Mega Kangaskhan. Overall, though, I think this deck is being carried a bit by strong pilots. I think the initial charm of this deck was the surprise factor, people not being ready for it. When we look at larger tournament scenes, this deck hasn't performed particularly well in mass. Obviously, we've seen some individual strong finishes at Lille and Gdansk, but overall, not a huge, tremendous showing. People are ready for the deck. People have Cornerstone outs. They have Retreat Lock outs. We need to see a world where, if people this weekend are cutting their respect for this deck, then it will do well. But I think we're not at that point yet. I think we need to see Mega Absol and these Retreat Lock Cornerstone out strategies really fall off a cliff before Mega Absol can come back. So I think for that reason, Mega Absol is was not as hot of a play as it once was for Milwaukee. I think too many people are ready for it and have answers. It's going to see some success with strong pilots, but ultimately I think that it's missing the pizzazz that had it so much success previously.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump in and say you're wrong, and like the deck is just performing way too well. I mean, Kaito did really well with it, and Gdansk.
Okay. Yeah.
You had 3 or 4 of them in ASIM cut out in Australia. The deck is just really strong and good. I mean, they're starting to include cards like Eerie and Zerosic, so they can go like disrupt your hand twice in one turn, and that's like disgustingly strong. I'm waiting on them to start including like judges and like other things, But I mean, they have the Ionos for like late game to do that. But the 3 prizes are a little scary, with Goldango running around and Dragapult Dusknoir being able to take 3 prizes twice. It's a little scary, but I don't know. There's just something about the Absol just being super, super strong. And what's really crazy, actually, and this is maybe to your point, Maddox, of it not being a hot play, and because sometimes these are influenced on if it's hot or not. Mega Absol's down to $1. My card is $1. Right. So maybe it's not a hot play, but I'm still going to dissent and say that it's still, if you're a very good player and you're playing a lot of games, like it's just a good deck. It's strong.
What card is less than $1? Gardevoir EX.
Hey, so it's not hot. Got it.
It's ice cold, apparently. I am going to. It's so hard to say. I think I'm going to concur.
Oh, all right.
I know that it just won Brisbane. I know it just had a super insane showing, but I think that like it is a bit trickier of a deck to pilot. Like if Ryuki Okada's playing it, he's gonna play it very well. He's going to make devastating plays against you.
True.
Whereas the average player, you know, might just attack with Absol in a bad spot, and then you boom, you knock it out. You know, with the three prizes. Like, I don't know. So I'm going to concur.
Okay, majority opinion is the deck is hot. Or sorry,
It's
not
not
hot.
hot. Not
Not
hot.
hot. Not hot. All right, moving on to the next deck. Everyone's favorite turbo deck, Raging Bolt Ogre Pawn. I'll take this one as the turbo enjoyer. I will make a case for Raging Bolt, but I can't because everyone's playing a bad list. You know, kind of like you said, Maddox, earlier. Like literally every single Raging Bolt list I see is terrible, and the reason why is because there's owls in it, and like there's no other answer. I mean, like the fact that you can Jewel Seeker is great in a lot of matchups, but across the meta, it really hurts you in matchups like Gardevoir. It hurts you in Dragapult. It hurts you in so many other ways because your single prize options aren't very good. You have the Baby Bolt, you got the Fan Rotom, you got Slitherwing sometimes. But like just having those on the board for a Halucha to come in and start swinging, like Raging Bolt used to be so favored in a Dragapult, and the fact that you are now unfavored in a Dragapult, that alone, plus like you just get destroyed by Gardevoir right now, those two things just say the deck ain't hot. And until someone starts playing a list, which again I've been experimenting, I'm not ready to fully talk about my list. We talked about it's posted, you can look at it, but I'm still refining. But I think there is a place for Raging Bolt Soul Rock because again the Soul Rock has 110 HP. And it's kind of Radiant Greninja at home. So I am going to, for now, say the deck is not hot because nobody has a good list. What do you guys think?
So it's weird. I mean, I like this whole format's weird, I guess, but
I mean, like Raging Bolt should be so good in this meta. Like you look at it, like you got all these big guys. Like Raging Bolt just knocks out big guys.
yeah,
But
and
it's more
like,
complicated than that.
yeah. So like, obviously, like Gardevoir, if they don't brick out of their mind, is a bad matchup, and then like Bolt is like basically unwinnable if they know how to play it. And then, but like everything else is like, I don't know, like how do you lose to Mega Absol? Like is that not a free win? Like I think you're a little bit favored in a
You knock
Grim.
out 2-3 prizers, bro.
You get retreat
That's what I'm
locked.
saying.
Prime Catcher Erica's.
Prime
GG's.
What, we're playing Erica's and Bolt now? What?
I mean, no, absolutely not. But like,
Absolutely
know.
not.
Absolutely not.
I feel like I don't know. We should beat Flareon. I mean, Dango's close. Rouge is close. Terrorbox without a Slitherwing
But
is
yeah,
probably
you got Slitherwing.
unfavorable.
Slitherwing's in all the decks.
Okay, Slitherwing. Yeah. Okay, Slitherwing makes it, 50-50 probably. Like, I don't know. Like, outside of Retreat Lock, like, all other decks are, like, pretty, pretty even, or I don't know.
So what's your final answer? Hot or not?
I'm
Dissenting or concurring?
I am still gonna go with not. I think.
So you're concurring.
I am
So
concurring.
I have called the past 6 decks not hot. And we're gonna make it number 7. Raging Bolt still not a good play. Right? I mean, owls aren't cutting it. A build without owls still isn't good yet. Listen, it needs some change. It is not the time. Still not hot. If you want to play a faster deck, play Ceruledge Edge or Dango or Joltik Box, which is like probably better than Raging Bolt right now. And a full 3-0, Raging Bolt is not hot.
And I hate it because it should be good. Yeah, like I look at the meta and I feel like it should be good, but I know why it's not. And it's the owls. All right. Speaking of a grim future, Parker.
Yeah. So, Mr. Grimothy Snarl here, I find guilty of being a hot deck. Actually,
Marnie's Grim Snarl, a hot deck.
I listen. Okay, so Gardevoir is gonna be big. You're minorly favored into that. Like, I I think average player versus average player, or whatever you consider that. Um, like Grimmsnarl is going to win majority of the games just due to weakness and like you put out more monkeys, that stuff. I think at the very highest level, really good series. Maybe Gardevoir wins more times than not, but um, look, Grimm's good against like the best deck. Like it's gotta say
That's good against
something.
Dragapult, right?
Yeah, I think you're slightly favored in a Dragapult. Like you take a prize on Badule and like you have 4 monkeys on your board and you just move all that damage back over. Um, like I don't know. Once it gets off the ground against pretty much everything, like it's scary. I think Cerulege actually probably is a bad matchup. I probably played like 1 or 2 games with those decks, but like I don't know if they can 2 shot or 1 shot your guys fast, or like 2 shot you once and then 1 shot you. It's probably bad. But against Dango, like you don't play Grimmsnarl as much. You just play Retreat Lock, Frostlass spread, and
Yep.
that'll get you there a lot of the times with the Devo. So like Joltik Box, you stick an Evil Tall after they Prime Catcher. Like what do they do? Oh,
What are they gonna do? Hey, boo boo.
but yeah, I think it's in a pretty decent spot. Like any of the other stage 2 decks, I think you're slightly favored into, and then like some of the turbo decks that just don't respect retreat lock, you have the auto answer in it.
Yeah, I do have to concur here and say Grimmsnarl is a hot play. Again, I think Frostlass is pretty good right now. Again, you're just having inherently so much spread going on. And ultimately, again, some of your bad matchups, right? You run into trouble with those turbo decks at times. But like we've said, like those aren't really that popular of plays, nor are they that strong of plays. You have a decent time into some of the top stage 2 decks. And while things can go wrong with the Stray Iono, I think that you have enough inherent like power on board and you can manipulate your prizes well enough. Just load a bunch of damage on board as long as you're able to get set up. And ultimately, still be a pretty hot play for the weekend.
Yep, I'm gonna concur as well. I think Grimmsnarl is a very good deck. A little weak, as far as draw power. So maybe adding that Tatsugiri for some more added consistency. Save your secret box until you actually need it. But I'm going to concur and say that Grimmsnarl is a hot deck for Vegas.
All right, moving on to another dark deck that's been getting some attention. We have Ends Zoroark, which again is not a deck we see with a very high play rate, but we have seen some decent success with it. Again, the big power here is you're a dark type attacker. You have a great built-in draw engine of trade, one of the strongest we've seen. Plenty of options. You have different ways that you can vary this build to attack with Pecharunt. Some are even adding the Mega Absol EX. Also, Cal Connor as well as the Fernandez brothers both are playing double Evil Tall. So they're playing lots of ways to retreat lock, spread that Monkey Dory damage, and just really help control the board. And again, you're drawing cards throughout and thinning your deck of the cards you don't need. Lots of ways to accelerate and build up power in the deck. So I do think it's a hot deck. However, you need to know it really well. It's not a surprise that if you look at the most success for Zoroark lately, has been if your last name is Fernandez or if you're Piper Levine or Calvin Carter, right? I mean, some of these top players are like really showing, hey, you need this level of familiarity and reps of the deck and this high playability with it to have that success. So if you're thinking about Zoroark, make sure you know it inside and out. Get as many games as you can. Listen to some of these top players on their success so you can succeed with it as well. Because played at the highest level, I think Zoroark is a very hot play and will continue to be for the rest of this format.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I have to dissent this, and the reason why is I don't as many draw powers as the deck has. It's not consistent, and it really does fall to item lock pretty easily, as we saw. Piper, do against Dragapult, where they just item lock them out of the game, and you got to find your guys. And if you don't find your guys, I think of the setup decks, weirdly enough, Zoroark is like the one deck that struggles to set up now, right? Like it used to be Goldango, but then Goldango got Genesect. Zoroark doesn't have anything that helps it kind of just like really set up besides finding that Cyrano early in the game. So I think it's a little bit of a weaker play. While it's like its ceiling is stronger, as far as its matchup spread, its sheer ability to set up every game in a tournament and its sheer consistency is what would concern me. and I would say make it a not hot play for me.
So I have to concur. I think that it is a strong deck. I like that they finally found a way to play Darmanitan. Even though, I
Kind
don't
of.
know.
Some of them have cut it already.
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't think no one's playing it. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Darmanitan is just a good card. It makes like your aggro strategy better by like, hey, I could put the board in a very dominating position by taking out two of your little guys right now. I could buy
Yep.
two Dracloaks.
Yep.
But also at the same time, like when I was trying to play it, like 20 years ago. I'm just kidding. Like I don't whenever Draymond, yeah, that was the biggest part. I was like, yeah, I play 4 popping, I play all this stuff. I could never find it. Like, what's going on? But I think it is a hot play. You know how I was talking about how Grim you can evil tall people and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Well, you can
Yeah.
evil tall people twice as much with
Sure.
this deck.
Sure.
Like while you set up,
Sure.
while they're blowing all their resources, and you can just like win the game like Zoroark, good attacker, kind of beefy, really, really broken ability.
Yeah,
probably-
great ability.
yeah.
Once you have the Zoroarks in play, you feel unbeatable. But
Oh yeah.
just getting to that board state seems a little tough. But majority opinion is it's a hot play. Moving on to the last deck that we're going to be talking about for this segment is the good old-fashioned Charizard EX, Rare Candy Pidgeot, Rare Candy Charizard, Rare Candy Dusknoir. Boom, blow you up. That's this deck, right? I don't know why, but every time I play against it, they just have it. You're just like, how do you always have it? And now they're playing like town stores and evolutions to like really get, that quick turnout because they're scared of the Badoos, right? They're scared of all these things. However, that being said, two of the most popular decks three of the most popular decks in the room are going to be Gardevoir, Goldengo, and Dragapult. And I think you're unfavored in all three of those matchups. I mean, I think the one you're like maybe close to even on would be like Dragapult, and it wouldn't be Gardevoir. You would think it'd be Guardy, but it's not. I mean, they're playing Drifloon now, so they can hit 330. With a single prizer, right? So they could do some things. I've seen Turo starting to pop up in Guardy list, like a 3 candied Guardy list. So they just go like, evolve to Guardy, attach to Drifloon, Turo the guy, evolve back to Curlia, have a rare candy ready for the other Ralts. Like I just don't see I don't see it, and you should be favored in that matchup. And so because you're not, I'm going to say that Charizard is not a hot play for this weekend. Parker, you were acting the whole time. What are your immediate thoughts?
I was just hitting you with a meme play that actually doesn't seem that bad, and that's Pidgeot for Iono, attack Joust with Clef Key to take the balloon off or the charm and Iono your opponent.
Sure.
That's kind of hot.
That's pretty good.
Is that not kind of hot?
That's a hot play, but does it make it a hot deck, Parker?
I think it is like in the most of the field. You're about even. Like obviously Dragapult's gonna be super super tough for you.
Yeah. So you're dissenting my opinion.
I think it is hot, and not just because it has fire on his tail and breathes fire.
It's a dark type, not a fire type.
That is correct. It is weak to the thing you think it'd be strong against, which is grass. But I think it is a hot play. I don't think it's the hottest play. I think you're at about a mild with this one, but
all right. Now, Maddox, surely with all of your not hot, surely you're agreeing with me here.
Listen, so Charizard, we saw it win Milwaukee Regionals, and it was a deck that wasn't on anyone's radar.
Yep.
And then lately from there, unless your name was Hermione, you really weren't doing much with the deck, right? I mean, you had some strong showings, but had ultimately quiet time. However, that is until this past weekend, where it's had a very quiet bit of a resurgence. We saw 2 of them in Gdansk Top Cut again, with Hermione going back to back, and also decent showing in Brisbane. And again, if there's ever a time that Charizard is a little, underprepared for, I'm not really concerned about, We know this is explosiveness with it. The power of Pidgeot is so good right now, especially being able to get that set up with a higher evolution count, being able to find so much, mixing in pieces like Briar, mixing in your Dusknoir, mixing your Klefki to soft Psyducks, right? I mean, there's so much you can do with this deck. And I think that any time that people are quiet on Charizard is a time for it to maybe make a resurgence. So I will lean into the fire type energy you search out with Infernal Rain and call it a hot play for Vegas this weekend.
That's a shame. All right, that's fine. Charizard believers rise up. Good luck in Vegas. That's our hot or not Supreme Court style. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll talk about some more decks and our predictions. But before we do need to give a quick shout out and thank you to FCBC for being some of the best sleeves in the game. I really enjoy them. Love the Blood Reds. What are you guys rocking this weekend to Vegas?
I'm gonna matching Itchy Pollens.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rocking the Itchy Pollens.
Are you guys rocking Itchy Pollens?
Yeah.
Listen, I've been a Periwinkle believer, and I still love this color. And I lately been playing the Baby Blues a lot of locals, but I'm actually gonna break out the Itchy Pollens. I really like seeing them on Parker's cards. I'm gonna give them a shot this weekend. And I'm playing Badoo, so I figured I should go for it. So we'll hit them with the Itchy Pollen this weekend. Parker will try not to hit at Vegas so we don't get any of our cards mixed up. Yep. I'll bench Dreepy, Attached Charm, and Secret Box for Neo Upper.
Bro, if you guys hit round 1, that'd be the funniest thing in the world.
That would be actually purely unbelievable.
That would be actually.
All right.
If we hit like round 1 of ASIM, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'd still feel bad.
Sure.
So
all right, let's move on to our trivia segment. We're gonna continue with the theme, and we're talking about Las Vegas decks and some of the best decks, and kind of reviewing the meta and stuff. So I dove deep into the meta, and I combined Brisbane and Gdansk on Limitless Labs. So my question is simple. I'm gonna give you 6 decks, and I want you to rank them number 1 through 6. I want you to rank them in terms of win rate on Limitless Labs. And I want to please note that the variant grouping is turned on. The 6 decks are kind of like the big 6 of what I think. Mega Absol, Terrabox, Joltik Box, Marnies, Goldango, and Gardevoir. Rank them from highest to lowest in win rate.
So we know Goldango converted really well in Gdansk, so I think we have to consider that some. Mega Absol also converted very well in Brisbane. Not quite as many games.
Sample, yeah.
And also a smaller sample and probably like less Mega Absol decks being played. So I think that's like notable as well that like, you know, maybe have a higher percentage of that because there's like less overall games versus like Goldango's. You have someone who went, you know, 4-4, shout out towards mom. And then also like, but then you also have Daniel Magda who like won most of the games. So like, I guess throwing that out there. Grim didn't have like a super impressive weekend, so I'm inclined that made it a little lower. Neither did like Joltik Box. Would you also say Eric Flareon was there?
Flareon is not there, so you got the Goldango, you said, Joltik Box, Marnies. The other 3 would be Mega Absol, Terrabox, and Gardevoir.
Terrabox. So Gardevoir, I guess, also has to be a tiny bit lower just because we didn't see it in any top cuts or any top 8 cuts. So probably a little bit of a weaker weekend there. But also, I guess it was on the outside looking in a good bit. So we got to get some of these numbers going, Parker, or else we're going to be here all day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Grimmsnarl a little bit lower, personally. What do you think is the highest deck? Go ahead.
I think we put Flareon at number 1.
Terrabox
number highest. 1? Terrabox's highest win rate? No, Flareon's not on the list.
Oh, you didn't say Flareon?
Terrabox.
Oh, okay. I think
highest is like maybe Absol. Maybe I'm worried about like Dango sees such a high play rate that like it can't have that high of a win rate, even though it won the tournament.
I thought like Absol kind of bombed in Europe though.
I guess it kind of did.
Like,
but Brisbane's included, so like
I know there were like 3 in top 8.
But actually, honestly, when you combine total numbers of games played, Brisbane's almost probably not even a factor. Because Brisbane was like a much smaller tournament when you consider total games.
13 rounds, right?
All right, give me the number 1 deck. Come to a consensus.
I think it's Dango.
I think it's Absol.
We can do 2 separate ones if you guys want. I don't care.
Okay.
All right, so Parker,
what do you think? I'll go Dango. I'll go Dango. I want to believe.
Sure.
Dango's good.
Okay. All right, so you're saying Dango. You guys are doing 1 list or 2 lists?
We'll do 1 list. We'll make it work.
All right, Dango number 1. What's number 2?
Okay. Absol's 2.
Absol, sure.
Number 3. Or you can go
Guardy's
go
still
from
gotta
bottom
be
up, whatever you
decent.
want. It's up to you.
Is bottom up Joltik?
You think Joltik's 3?
I think Joltik's 6.
Oh. Joltik's probably 6.
Yeah, Joltik's 6. Terror Box. I don't think I had that impressive of a showing. Maybe that's like 4 or 5. I'll call it 5 for now. And we have Marnie and Guardy.
Parker, do you agree with Terror Box at 5? Putting that down?
Yeah, we'll do that. And
So
then
Guardy
your last two are Guardy and
Guardy 4, Grim
Marnie.
3.
I was thinking Guardy 3 because it was on the outside looking in a little bit. I'm fine either way.
Right now,
If
I
you wanna
have
go-
Dango, Absol, Guardy, Grim, Terror Box, Joltik.
If you want to go Grim 3, I'm okay with that, Parker.
I think we'll go Grim 3.
Grim,
right,
Grim
Grim
3,
three,
Guardy
Guardy
4.
Sure.
Lock it in and tell us that
All
He's
right,
gonna
so
tell us we
correct
got
we are.
0
You're going
correct.
Dango, Absol, Grim,
He's gotta-
Guardy, Terror Box, and Joltik, right?
Bro, we
He's
got the whole
gotta
list
ask-
backward. We got the whole
he's-
list backwards somehow.
He's gonna.
Yeah, you got 0 right.
He's giving us. He was giving us a second chance there.
Yo,
Yeah.
labs numbers aren't real anyways.
You
If
got-
there's only real tournaments.
You got 0 right there. So I'm gonna give you one more chance to change like 2 of them and see if you
Can we get any hint? Like, did I say anything right?
At one point during your discussion, you did have a deck in the right spot.
Okay, I can work with that. So we can just swap 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that probably gets us 1.
Yeah, surely.
Sure, surely.
So, all right.
We gotta try to game the system.
So
best we can.
Absol, Dango.
Absol, Dango, Guardy, Grim.
Grim. That probably gets us at least 1, right?
Wait. Then it's Joltik's Terror Box.
Yeah, let's just swap all of them. Surely this will fix
All
the
of them by
list.
1.
Surely we were just this small degree off,
This is like
and
that,
now we'll have 6.
is
out
it
of
like
6.
all the shorts you see on YouTube with the waters, right? Where they're like doing the drinks and moving the drinks around. It's kind of like what you're doing here. So now with the updated list, you've got Absol, Dango, Guardy, Grim, Joltik, Terror Box, and with the reshuffle, you have 2 right.
Yo, we're so bad.
Would you like to
Jeez.
continue, or would you like the result?
We're doing the
Move
shuffle
the
card
cup
game.
around.
Okay,
I'm giving
Well,
you
now
an
we gotta
option. It's up to
switch.
you.
now we gotta switch Joltik and Terror Box, see if that one's right or not. We changed 2.
No, we're not going through all that.
Yeah.
All right. So the 2 you got right were Absol and Dango on the
Alright,
second
so-
time.
So
So
then it's Terror Box, Guardy.
The Guardy was never
No.
4.
Guardy was 4. Terror Box,
Joltik Box.
Guardy,
Grim.
Grim.
all right, I'm just gonna spoil it for you. So number 3 is Joltik Box. At number 4 is Terror Box. Number 5 is Marnie's, and number 6 is Gardevoir. And the numbers come out to be 52%, 51.9%, 51.04, 50.3, 48.9, and 48.2. So yeah, I mean, Jolted Box, kind of like, you keep crapping on it, we keep putting it down here, and it's number 3 on the win rate. I'm just saying.
Because my cat could play that deck.
I mean, maybe that's why it's good, right? It's consistent, it's strong. What else do you need? All right, moving on to some predictions for Vegas as we start to wrap up our episode here. First up on the prediction sheet, what will the highest placing Zoroark deck be? Top 8, ASEM, top 16, that's ASEM, top 32. What do you think?
Top 4.
I was gonna say that. No.
You can also say top 4.
Also say it. Here, I'll make it top 8.
No, you can say top 4. Oh, you're believing less.
You can
Well, I was
both say
saying, like,
top
do
4.
I go to try to one up and be like, I think Zoroark's gonna make it in finals, but I was probably not.
You can both say
Yeah,
top 4.
let's go. I'm believing in the actually. I want to know. Can I get live odds? Are the Fernandez brothers going to Buenos Aires or are they going to Vegas? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, is that this weekend too?
I would assume
is.
Buenos Aires?
to the one closer.
They're probably going back to LATAM, so just put Zoro and ASIM for me, top 16.
Top 16. Okay. I will say top 8 because I think that's a good deck. Next up, which stage 2 deck will have the better finish between all the stage 2 decks? You got Dragapult, Gardevoir, Charizard, or Grim. Which deck will have the best finish of those 4? Parker's Gardevoir?
Wow, what a bold take.
I mean,
but it didn't make top 8 any of the past
it hasn't
tournaments.
made top
Parker.
8 any of the past tournaments.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Maddox, what do you think?
You know, could it really be Dragapult? Could Dragapult really have a better finish than all of those?
This week.
I'm not sure. But like also maybe. Like I mean, if I can't pick Gardevoir, Dragapult's probably got the best chance otherwise. So
You can pick Gardevoir. Again, you're allowed to pick the same thing.
No. Gardevoir, it's probably gonna be Gardevoir. It's probably gonna be someone in Henry Child's group winning with Gardevoir. Let's just be real. We'll do that. Gardevoir.
So you're in Gardevoir?
I'll say specifically Henry Chow's Gardevoir list wins Vegas.
All right. I'm going to say Dragapult. Because I was going to say Gardevoir, but
damn, he went from Dragapult sucks to Dragapult's gonna have the best finish.
I mean, seeing it on paper and in play. Anyways, excluding North America, meaning anyone from Canada or the USA, what region will get the highest finish? An answer would be, the Oceania region, Europe region, LATAM region. Which region will have the highest finish outside of North America?
So while it is a West Coast regional, we do see a good representation of strong Asian players making the trip over. I think that is a good consideration to see another strong player that hasn't already had a good finish. Again, I want to go explore Las Vegas and on the way to LAIC, but I do happen to know that Tord Reklev is going to Las Vegas. So for that reason alone, I'm going to go with Europe.
Okay.
That does kind of
change. That's a good reason.
All right, I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Asia.
All right.
Say Asia. My brothers will rise up and bring home a dove.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I think you're right, Maddox. LATAM's like, if the Fernandez brothers that were there, maybe I would say LATAM, but the fact that like Buenos Aires is going on, there's gonna be a lot of players in LATAM going there. So I think Europe is like the easy answer. So I'll just take the easy route. That's fine. All right. What will the highest placing rogue deck be? And rogue deck is defined as, we have not talked about it on this podcast so far. It's not one of our 12 decks. I don't need you to tell me the deck. You can if you want. I just want to know, what will the highest placing rogue deck be?
I think there will be a Crustle in top 32.
Okay.
That is a scorching hot take, but might happen. I'm going to go with, again, and I might be looking at Limitless right now, trying to figure out what other decks there are. But actually, I was going to say Greninja, but I'm actually going to go Pidgeot Control because we do love, there's some good control heads that have been, grinding the Pidgeot. They don't like Absol. It's not quite the same. Got probably Nathan Ginsburg popping up. I think he's got another good chance to pop top 16 with the Pidgeot Control, or maybe any of these other control heads are showing up. So give me a little nod, Pidgeot Control.
And what's going to be their placement?
32.
The question is placement, so I got to know the answer to that.
32.
All right.
I know you didn't ask for the deck, but I'm actually changing my deck to Frostlass Monkey Dory.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say ASIM because I'm a rogue deck believer, and I'm really struggling. Like, I really want to say Chen Pao. Like, I really want to say Chen Pao, but like, I don't think there's gonna be enough people playing it.
Hey, is Jared Grimes going?
He doesn't even play it, bro. He plays freaking Diplin these days.
That's true.
Diplin's good deck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say a deck because there's too many rogue decks that I like right now. I just don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna say top 16. All right,
next in the unknown.
Next question, simple, easy, yes or no. Will Cerulege or Raging Bolt make ASIM this weekend?
No.
You guys are so mean to these turbo decks. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast and you're a Cerulege believer or you're a Raging Bolt believer or what, send that deck, put that practice in there, and go get that ASIM and prove these fools wrong, because I can't stand what they're doing.
And also, change. Also, if you're playing Cerulege, change your sleeves day 2. so you're all set. So no issues. So you
That
can make
part.
it into ASIN.
That part.
But is Azul going?
I don't think he is.
Yes, he
No,
Azul
no.
is.
Oh, is he?
Oh, well, he was planning to go unless he's recently said on stream like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going." So
It's release weekend. I don't think he's going.
I thought no, his plan was to go.
Usually,
far
when
as
there's
I
a
know.
release, he won't go.
I understand, but he's lately has
don't know.
been talking about planning to go. So maybe
As
he
of
cut
recording,
cancels,
I'm
I don't
not
know.
sure if he's going or not. Listen to the Uncommon Energy podcast this week to find
I mean,
out.
if he goes and he plays the Rollage, then it's got a chance.
True. All right, next question. How many Goldango will make ASIM?
2.
Parker says 2 Goldangos in ASIM.
I'm a little less of a Goldango believer, as you mentioned this weekend. Obviously, we're going to see a spike of it, but I still got to go 1.
Okay.
I think we don't see much more than 1. I think it's going to be hard
Alright.
to see 1, honestly.
ASIM is big. ASIM is 16. Like, potential for 16. Speaking of which, I hope we don't have a 17 bubble again this week because I feel so bad.
That is
The last 2 tournaments that these bubble, I'm like, dang.
And actually, Drew Stevenson, he's bubbled out. He bubbled out a top 32 in Gdansk and bubbled out a top 6 and doubled out ASIM
Yeah,
and
so
low.
in Gdansk, we had
another
4. We had 4 Goldangos in top ASIM.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna go 3. Good deck. It's doing well. All right. We're gonna use Limitless Labs for this question when we go and review it next week. Just because the stream always kind of doesn't group things very well. I want to make them consistent. So according to Limitless Labs with grouping on, what will be the most popular deck in day 2? What will have done so well and it was so popular that it's the most popular deck in day 2?
It's got to be Gardevoir.
Gardevoir.
Especially with Limitless grouping on Jelly Guardy plus regular Guardy. It's too easy.
So both of y'all saying Gardevoir?
Yes.
All right. I'm taking Goldango. Rise up, cheeseheads. Get it done. Coin bonus your way. You're in Vegas. You're literally
already in
coin
Milwaukee.
bonusing in Vegas.
Go win at the tables and make it rain.
Yes.
True.
Now, on the opposite side of that coin, we will use the stream graphic for this one. Will there be a deck that's on the day 1 graphic that's not on the day 2 graphic, which means it underperformed and another archetype overperformed? Will there be a deck that falls off? And if so, what will it be?
Hey, listen. If you are a diehard on Ceruledge, right?
I swear to God, Parker.
Stay confident. Hang in there. But overall, Ceruledge will be on the day 1 graphic, but not be on the day 2 graphic.
This guy.
I mean,
people don't believe in the research list. If everyone picks up Azul's list, there's maybe a chance. But like, I don't think they will.
Unfortunately, that was along the lines of my answer. I was like teetering between like Mega Absol Box, so I still think there's going to be a lot of strong players playing that. So like, I think it's probably Ceruledge.
Yeah, I mean, Gdansk, it went from 112 players, 5th most popular, to 8 in day 2.
In Brisbane, it went from 40 to 4.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh,
It's so crazy. Did anything else fall off or no?
10% conversion rate.
It's so bad, bro.
No, Mega Venusaur is 0% conversion rate. No, my kings.
My kings.
no.
I'm gonna say
dumpers.
the answer is yes. But I'm not gonna say it's Ceruledge. I'm gonna say that Mega Absol sneaks its way onto the graphic, and it doesn't make the day 2 graphic.
I can see that.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for our predictions. So before we round up, we got some quick words of wisdom from the podcast. Maddox, you up first. What are some words of wisdom this weekend?
Yeah. Again, everyone preparing for Las Vegas, good luck, have fun. And remember, right, most importantly, your prep and what you're most comfortable with is going to be what's carried you, right? We've given plenty of opinions here about how to play your deck, about which decks are good, which decks are not good. But ultimately, what matters more so than everything else at an event of this size is your personal level of comfort with the deck. So if you know something like the back of your hand and are very comfortable with it, just know that 60, play to the best of your ability, and just rely on your practice and your skill to carry you with that deck in Vegas. Also, be responsible, have fun. If you're trying to do well at the tournament, be responsible Friday night and Saturday night type of thing. But also, I'm going to be there. hope to see you all there. Yeah, have fun. I'll actually be guest casting the Dark Side Cup on Thursday a little bit in the afternoon. So if you're there, would love to come see y'all. And then also going to go and hang out at Anil and Rowan and LDF. They're all doing an event Thursday night in Vegas. So if you're in town early, would love to see y'all there.
You got to get on the pod, bro. You gotta make the shit. Beach Court collab.
I'll hit up Anil. I'll hit up Anil, see if he needs a guest speaker or anything.
Need like
but yeah,
5-minute segment.
But yeah, anyways, for everyone going, just have fun. Trust your preparation.
Yep.
Stay confident, and stay hydrated, stay well fed throughout the day, and most importantly, have fun, because it's such a treat to be able to go travel somewhere new and play Pokemon. So enjoy your weekend.
Parker, words of wisdom from you.
I echo everything you just said. Like, obviously, we had our fun doing predictions and stuff on here, but if you are a diehard Cerule Edge fan like Eric, I suppose, like, play Cerule Edge. Like, you have, like, you got the tools, you got the jamming towers, you got the briars. Like, you can pull out games from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, trust the process. Trust your process. Like, just because us or your favorite other Pokemon player says, "Hey, this deck's not good," don't let that discourage you from playing.
That's right. Everyone said Mega Upsalt was bad until they played it, and Tord said it was good, right? So,
Exactly.
Words of wisdom from me. I got a lot. I got a lot to say. Let's start with time rules. Make sure you're being very weary of the time rules and understanding that you're in the +1 format now. So after time is called, if it's your active turn, then your opponent gets 1 turn and the game is over. So make sure you're trying not to tie. There's too many X2-1s that have bubbled out of like top ASEM now, right? There's been 2 in the last 2 tournaments, and you don't want to be that person. Promise you. You will have opportunity to get there, but you don't want to be that person that gets to 17th because you tied around that you shouldn't have. So make sure you keep up your pace of play. Secondly, just be nice to people, man. Have fun and be nice and be humility is the word I think I'm trying to go for there. I just understand nobody has for the most part has bad intent when they say something or you see something on Twitter. Just be good to people, man. Have fun with the community in Vegas. It's gonna be a great time. And then lastly but not least, take care of your mental health. You need to take a break. You need to go walk. You need to drink water. You need to do all those things, because if you lose a match, it's okay. There will be another one to play. If you lose a game, it's okay. You will have another game to play. If you are eliminated from day 2 competition, it's okay. You will have another opportunity. You can continue playing and learn something from everything. So really just going to challenge everyone listening to this podcast, these closing remarks, just go with really good spirits and, make sure you're taking care of yourself and taking care of your fellow competitors and not being mean to people, because I've seen too much of it lately. And, life is short. Just have fun. You're in Vegas. I've been to Vegas before, and I'm very you're going. I'm not and I can't tell you how much it hurts me and it's FOMO to not be going. But I'm gonna be home and taking care of my family and my son, and that's what I'll be doing. So, good luck to everyone. But until then, we'll see you next week. Hope you guys rock it and kill it. So yeah, we'll see you next time.
See ya.